Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I have my husband here with me, and we're going to be talking about something so interesting. Yet I feel like it's something that people don't really talk about a lot
Yeah.
because when we started experiencing it, I think we didn't even have the opportunity to ask people because we are shy.
It's very weird,
It's a very weird thing to talk about. So
and people make you feel like you're sports. I know
yeah,
if you're
like
asking that question.
is it
So
only that in your mind? There's no other thing for you to think about or
yeah,
talk about. And so we just thought about that a lot of people, a lot of new couples are going to be having, similar issues and they might
yeah.
not really have anybody to talk about this stuff with. So why don't we just come up here and, have a conversation about it, making you know that you are not alone.
It's actually something that still needs to be spoken about more.
Yeah.
I think we didn't have a chance to know that something like this was about to happen
Mm-hmm.
because it was new to us at the time. And for me, I kept on saying like, why didn't people tell us this
Why
part
don't
about
they tell
marriage?
you? Yeah, why don't they
Why don't
tell
they
you?
tell you that these things will happen? But
Yeah.
everybody just says get married, and after
They
that,
get
they
married,
just
have
leave you.
kids, and they lock up. They feel like you
You
guys will
guys will,
figure
yeah, you figure
everything out
everything out.
together.
Yeah.
So this video, we just want you to know that you are not alone. It's normal, and we also want to give you, things that you can use to navigate this season to, spice up your intimacy with your partner. So I don't know, babe, how do you think that sexual intimacy was for us before even before I got pregnant?
And for me, it was okay. I didn't really have a high standard before getting married, so I kept my mind open. So it was quite okay until we got to that point where it was the pregnancy period and everything just like changed and just nosedived.
So okay, it was okay, yes,
Yeah.
but in terms of frequency, you
Well,
know,
it was good for me. The frequency was still okay, but like I said, as we got to that point, everything just nosedived, and I wasn't I
you
wasn't
were
there.
not expecting it.
No, 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 no.
So for me, I feel like before pregnancy, when we just got married, sex was good. It wasn't as if we figured it out like immediately because I
No.
think we even did a video of things that we didn't know about sex on this
Yeah,
channel. You can watch that video. So it was something that we had to figure out. And I think along the the line we figured it out well. And it was all good. We're having fun. Frequency was good, environment was good, everywhere was palatable. But then I got pregnant and it was as if things started to
just started
change.
change. Yeah,
And, it wasn't even because we didn't even want to have sex, but because the first 3 months of my pregnancy, we were not allowed to have sex
yeah.
medically. How was that phase for you?
It was. I think it was. I would say the early part of it was very challenging because when you're active and you now have to stop that and become inactive
Hmm.
sexually, it's a very difficult transition. So the early phase was really tough for me, but along the line, and with the understanding that you have to do this
Yeah,
for the safety of your baby. So
yeah.
I just had to keep talking to myself that okay, this is not the priority right now. You have to focus on the goal and just hold yourself and try to manage everything.
So you know that mine was that I was spotting for 3 months. There are
Mm,
some people that they are not spotting for 3 months. They are
yeah,
just basically tired or they are having so much sickness. They are not just themselves because their
yeah, true.
system is just trying to adjust. What would you like to tell men in this season? For example, not just even the whole 9 months or 10 months of
Mhm.
pregnancy, but the 3 months of pregnancy. What would you like to tell men?
First of all, I think first of all you have to set your priorities straight. You have to focus that you're not the goal at that point. The goal
Mm-hmm.
is to bring
A healthy
forth a
baby.
healthy baby to this world,
Yeah.
and you have to sacrifice as much as you can to ensure that that baby is safe and everything that needs to be done happens. Another thing is you have to be kind because at that point your wife's body is changing. Mentally, she's going through a lot of struggles,
Yeah.
trying to figure out whether she's doing the right thing, what she needs to do, how she so at that point she might not.
Even be mentally ready. A
Yes, she.
mental and an emotional focus. I think it has
Mm,
shifted from sex
that
to
is.
making sure my baby is fine.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things going on her mind at that time. So she really needs to focus on that, and she might not really have your time at that point. But you just have to understand that it's a transition. Once that is done, definitely you'll get the attention back.
Yeah.
Then you also have to realize that it is possible that you won't have sex for at least 6 months. It is very possible.
Yeah, for people that say
Very.
that, when I marry, every day we'll be having sex every
Okay.
day. I'm just like, pregnancy
Huh.
never hit your wife.
Huh.
Things have not happened. And we cannot even say that. There are some people that when they are pregnant, their libido is so high.
Yes, true. Not
So you have to
everybody's
understand that,
different.
yeah,
Everybody's different.
woman to woman, we are all different. But
Yeah.
then again, as a man and even as a woman, you have to understand the condition that you are in and
Mm.
how best to communicate with your partner for you to navigate it properly. For me, I would say that during that period, sex was not really my priority. I was not in a right state of mind because I was thinking, oh, anything can happen to this baby at this particular time.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to work physically. So I was like, hope it's not like I'm missing out. Hope it's not like people are judging me like, are you the first person to, you know, get
Get pregnant.
pregnant and all of that. And I felt like I'm so grateful that you were not somebody that puts me under pressure to be saying, when are we going to have sex? When are we going to have sex? When are we going to have sex? And all of that. And that one of the things that made me really say that, oh, thank God I married a kind partner. But then again, after the 3 months, I think because of my own peculiarity of sporting, I think I was always so still scared of
True.
of,
Yeah.
of having sex. And I know that there was a particular time discussing with the gynecologist, and it was like it might just be all in my mind. But for real, it was not all in my mind. It was just painful. It was not palatable. It was just, bodysome and all of that. And I really want to thank you for being patient and understanding. But I also want you to tell people the reality of the reality of possibility that you might not even have sex, 9 months straight.
Honest. Yeah. Aside from our own peculiarity, at least from a little number of people I've spoken to about their own, because at that point I was like asking people like, is this how it's supposed to be? As
We are
in, are you
going through
supposed
a lot.
so from the peculiarity of our own, I understand that yes, from the early stage we had to, but there are many other people that had sex
you know,
up till the last trimester.
yeah, even up to the last day, and they were good.
Yes.
So you have
And
to.
but I realized that if some people had to hold themselves for a month, 2 months, 3 months, depending on the peculiarity of their wives. Some can say at the end of the trimester, when the lady is about to be due, yes, they will be advised to hold. After the baby too, they'll be advised to hold for a while too. So all in all, I think on average, most of the people I spoke with usually experienced between 1 to 2 months abstinence in that phase. But there are particular issues like ours that took as long as 6 months plus,
Yes.
and it was really, really
Okay.
challenging. It was
So,
really challenging.
people often say that, when a woman is pregnant or when she has a child, she might not be as sexually active as she used to be.
Mm,
And because of that, they're like, oh, it's liberty for a man to go out and satisfy himself because your wife is not available. I think this is a place where self-control comes in,
very important though.
But
Please, yeah.
I want you to actually speak on this topic, that is that a liberty to cheat? Is it a liberty to, go into
Well,
watching pornography, masturbation, and all of that?
it's an excuse because for me, I believe cheating and or cheating in general. Let's just start with the cheating in general. People give themselves excuses to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are or when you've already put yourself in that, like,
Box.
that box, and where you're already tempted, or you
Mm-hmm.
already have a few options,
Mm-hmm.
then that when that excuse comes up, it gives you a perfect reason why you should go out and
And cheat.
release yourself or relieve yourself, whatever word you want to use for that. So at that point you need a lot of self-control,
Yes.
which is like 90% of what you need at that point. Then the other point is you need to determine that you would, because if you say you don't want to cheat, you have to be principled and determine that yes, you're not going to do it. So you need to give yourselves reasons why you shouldn't allow that to happen. But majorly it's just self-control at that point,
Yeah.
because it's crazy, it's
And
crazy,
even
really
if you are
crazy.
trying to control yourself and you are determined, I also feel that you should flee from all appearances of evil.
Yeah, true.
Because you might say that, oh, I'm not going to do this, but then again something comes up and triggers you, and you're like, I didn't mean to, but I actually did. Do you get? So I feel like you should also flee, from up appearances of evil. For ladies, I feel like during pregnancy you might experience dryness, your libido might be down, and all of that. Yeah, obviously you should consult with your gynecologist, but you can buy lubricants, you can just have an open mind. You should also understand that your husband is trying to sacrifice for you. So the days you can, just try to do it.
True.
It makes the tension in the home, you know to get reduced, and it doesn't allow you guys to build resentment for yourself, because in your mind you're like, he knows I'm going through this, he's still asking for
Mm.
sex. But you should also understand that he's a human being and he has his needs. So the days you can, and if the doctors have, um
Give it a go ahead.
yeah, if the doctors have given the go ahead, you can also just try to put yourself together and sacrifice. So we've talked about, sex before, during. So I want to talk about, now we have had a baby, and our baby is all grown, is a toddler now. How has sex been?
So from the phase of during, before and during, um, I think what really helped us before I get to after, what really helped us before and during is we started being like more physical.
Yeah,
We hugged each other more often. We kissed. Yeah,
cuddled.
we cuddled. So those kind of things are the kind of things that are the coping mechanisms that really helped us at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So now getting to after, it took a while actually for us
Yeah,
to actually start, but we started gradually. It wasn't as frequent as it used to be, but after a while, I think things just got back.
you
Yeah,
get. I feel like when a woman has given birth, she's mentally, emotionally, physically stressed,
definitely,
especially
sure.
if she doesn't have, like a help, or if she doesn't have like a good help. So I think this is a very tough part on the man's side, because you are feeling like, okay, now you have had the baby.
Yeah. So when next?
Yeah, do you get? Now you have had the
I
baby.
kept asking myself that like.
The
So
doctor said we should wait 6 weeks. We have waited 6 weeks for you, madam.
I kept
So
asking.
what happened? When is the time?
Like when is it going to happen? When is
Yeah,
it going to happen?
yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think I called the gynecologist at the point. I think,
Eh,
yeah, I think so. Or I can't remember what happened. Either I went to pick up something at the hospital and I saw him and I asked him like, sir, so how far? When
the
when,
gynecologist must be judging in his mind that this uncle is not
like,
serious.
sir, when is when can we start? Like, so, but it's a phase that I feel a lot of people really need help and guidance, and I feel the older couples are not too open about.
Yeah, everybody is just
Um,
trying to hush, 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 hush.
People don't really want to open up about things like this. I would have liked it if our counselors like shared these bits with us just to prepare our minds that okay, this is something that you might experience. It might not be peculiar to you,
Okay.
but there's a
Yeah, that's
possibility
true.
that this might come up.
Mm-hmm.
You might need for some certain reasons. It might not even be pregnancy. It might be injury.
Maybe sickness.
It might be sickness.
Yeah.
So it might that this sex might not be a priority at that time,
Mm-hmm.
but you should be able to understand that desperate times calls for desperate measures.
I also
So I
think
just
that
don't.
a lot of couples don't communicate at this point. They just
Mm,
rather bottle up, get angry, and be like, this guy is not understanding me. And the guy is like, this lady is just trying to be selfish.
yeah,
You're not the first person that had a baby. My mom
sure.
had six, my sister had four. So why are you being peculiar and, being all dramatic? And I think it's important for couples to actually communicate. Talk about how you are feeling. Babe, I really miss you. I wish we could have sex, but I understand that this time is, very difficult for you and all. So, how do you think that communication helped us in regards to this matter?
First of all, as men, we need to understand that women are emotional
Yeah,
than logical. So it takes a lot of. Let me just use the Nigerian word whining. You need to prepare her for
what is coming
what is,
ahead?
yes, preparing her mind that okay, now that's not in a way that you have to put pressure on her, but
Yeah,
just for her to understand that you are also a priority. So you need to like say sweet words, comfort her, be there for her because
yeah,
trust me, for a woman, is what you give, you receive.
Yeah,
In all honesty, that is just the
yeah,
truth.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
need to prepare your mind, be good. At that point, be the best person that you can be. I'm telling you, be the best person that you can be to her, so that when it's time for you um to relieve yourself and get what you want, you would she would make herself available willingly, not grudgingly. So I think a
And
lot
I
of that
also
happens.
think that a lot of women struggle with, the aftermath of how their body looks.
Yeah,
You
those
know,
insecurities. Yeah,
yeah, those insecurities come up. You have stretch marks. Some part of your body is darker than the other. You feel like your mammary gland, they are changing. The structure is not how we used to be. And as I said, like a lot of whining, but I don't even think it's whining. I think the word is affirm your wife.
yeah,
Make her know that, babe, I still see you. You are still beautiful. Your stomach is big because you gave me life. And don't just talk, you hear some things online and you're like, why would you say this kind of thing to a woman that gave birth, for you?
she's at the most sensitive point of her
Yeah,
life.
you
Yeah,
see people saying, see how your stomach is so big. And the funny thing is that the culture we are, people don't know how to keep their mouth shut. So your wife will go out and people will tell her that she's fat. Your wife will go out and people say, are you still pregnant? All those kind of things. And imagine her coming home, you that you're meant to be a safe space. You are not saying those kinds of words. That is
definitely.
why some women enter postpartum depression.
Yeah, true.
So as much as you can, affirm your wife, make her know that I see you, you are beautiful, and all of that. So communication is very important, both from
Yeah,
the woman's side and the man's side. For the woman's side, making the man know that you're not ready or you're ready and it's painful, you don't have a good libido at this moment and all of that. Communicate. Your spouse is not a mind reader, and it's what you communicate to them
sure.
that they can work with. And even when they are communicating to you as a spouse, learn to listen and not be defensive. Do you
Mm,
get? Because I could communicate how I was feeling to you and you just be like, is it only you? Me too, I have feelings. Or you
yeah,
could communicate how you were feeling to me and I'm all defensive. So I think that we should also learn to listen. Everybody should listen to their spouse. And even if you cannot be all out, like do all the styles and everything you used to do, you can just give a
you
bit
just
of
keep it
yourself.
simple. Just keep it
Yes.
simple. It
And
doesn't have to
and
be.
intimacy is not even all about penetration. you know
Definitely true.
Cuddling, just speaking to yourself, being emotional when you are even emotionally synced.
I feel we're even better connected during that
Yeah,
phase
yeah,
than even now,
yeah,
because we did every other thing aside from just penetration.
yeah, you get.
So,
So, and I feel like people also have to be intentional
mm,
in the sense of, that you are not in the mood, but this thing just has to happen.
you have to try.
Yeah,
I remember, like, there were several times you tried, and I really appreciated that. Even if we didn't later have sex, but I appreciated the efforts that you put in and said, okay, let's try today. Okay, let's give it a try. Okay, since the doctors giving us go ahead, let's try if it can work. But I knew you were still going through a lot of pain, and it would have been, I don't want to use the word wicked of me, but selfish kind
mm-hmm.
of me to have gone through with it.
Yeah,
And I really appreciated the efforts you made at that time. And
yeah,
it's always good for, I know women are going through a lot.
they're going
Honestly,
through a lot.
pregnancy is a special topic. I'm telling you, because you guys are on the receiving end of everything that happens
Everything,
in that
yeah,
time. As
yeah,
men, yes, we go through a little bit of it, but you guys are like the main focus of everything.
yeah, true.
You're the center of everything. Everybody's giving you pressure. The baby's giving you pressure. Your husband is giving you pressure. Family is giving you pressure. Doctor too is also giving you pressure. So at that point, your mind is kind of overwhelmed with a lot of things,
Things, yeah,
and it takes a lot of patience and just
exactly.
gradual steps to get back to how things were.
And I feel like for women, it's one thing to also know that sex after pregnancy or the sex after giving birth is extremely painful.
Yeah.
And I don't know why they didn't even tell us in the hospital, or why, older couples don't tell you how painful it is. It is very, very painful. And I remember the first day we tried, I said, hey, uncle, I better go. I had to call some of my friends that have given birth. I'm like, did you guys experience this? And they were like, it's normal, it's painful. So I'm giving you heads up when you give birth and you're about to start your ministration to yourself. It is painful. You can just get lubricants that work for you. You can just do your research and basically cling to, what works for you. So babe, what are your final words, to couples, to husbands on this topic as we wrap up this video?
Yeah, so I think we've really touched on everything that needs to be talked about, but the most important thing is communicate and be patient.
Yeah.
Communicate and be patient. As long as you consider each other, think about what the other person is going through, and try to put yourself in that person's shoes,
Sure.
and try to understand from their point of view. You can give yourselves reasons why you feel they're behaving the way they're behaving, and
Mm-hmm.
try to understand. The more you understand, it makes everything easy.
Better, yeah, yeah. Just communicate. And don't resent your baby, because sometimes it leads to the resentment of this baby, that
Why would somebody do that?
people that are like, it's because this baby came, that's why you don't have my attention again,
But
Abby.
that is the joy of the moment. So why would people now
That
say,
is for people that have a good capacity to reason properly. There are some people that are in this other bucket, but it is well. So we just hope this video encouraged you. It made you see that you are not alone. It's a phase. You will figure it out. Even right now, we have to, time well. We have to watch Nathan. We have to distract him sometimes and all of that. But there are things that you can do as long as you people are willing to work together as a team.
and please, the older couples, if you can, maybe in the comments, just give us ideas or
Yeah,
comments or
yeah.
advices on things
Mm-hmm.
you feel that can help
Yeah, that can
couples in this
in
kind of
this scene.
situation.
So thank you so much for watching. I'll leave my husband to give a close remark.
Close remarks. All right, so thank you. Please like and subscribe and share the video just to get people to engage and also learn from it.
Yeah. Till next time, guys. Bye.